Morning, everybody. Day 3 of the well drama. Got the well guy finally coming out this morning, hopefully. Said he was anyways. I'm gonna undo this insulation. There's a union fitting right here to take apart. That way, I've never seen this done, but I've seen videos of it. They've got a big truck, and it's got like a crane type thing. It's a well service truck, and what they do is they grab a hold of this thing and then they start pulling up sections of pipe and pull the pump and the electric motor all the way out to replace it. So yeah, so we'll probably get a head start for him, that way he doesn't have to sit here and fight with all this. This is stuff that I insulated a long time ago. Of course, he's been into it since then. Yeah. Let's see if we can get all this apart here. Someone just put some duct tape on it. Normally you use real nice little metal clips like I had on here. When I re-insulate, I'll take a video of it. Oh, there he is right there. Oh yeah, he just stuck a... This froze last year, and so it looks like they put a repair coupling in it. So cool, that's all prepped for him. That wasn't much. We'll see if we can get some good. We'll see if we can get some good video of him taking this whole mess out of here. Looks like a pretty big truck about to show up. So yep. Well, I didn't get any shots of these guys setting up this truck, but I'll walk you through it here real fast. So it's a well service truck. They got some outriggers on this thing, and it's basically a crane, sort of. The boom doesn't swing around, but it just goes straight up and down. But it's a telescoping boom, 3-section, and he was saying that he's able to boom out, or I guess stick out, run the stick out to about 65 feet. And at 65 feet, because it's straight vertical and up and down with the outriggers out, he's capable of lifting up to 2,000 pounds. So you could say, he was saying he could lift up to 42 feet, because a section of pipe is, a standard section of pipe for him is 21 feet, which I always thought they were 20, but he says the pipe that he gets is 21 for whatever the reason. Maybe that's including the 2 couplings that are on there, because the couplings are about 4 or 5 inches long. Anyways, he's capable of pulling out of the ground somewhere around 2,000 pounds, and up to, he said that's generally up to 6-inch pipe. And I was like, my God, 6-inch pipe, that would be a huge pump and motor down at the bottom. I guess that's what they use on the big irrigation farms. I'm not too familiar with that, but that's what he was telling me. So what he's doing is he's got a little adapter that he screwed onto the top section of the pipe there. And he just pulled that section up, and we found a little spot on the wire that runs underneath the base plate, and we wanted to make sure that that bad spot in that wire was not actually causing our over amperage problem, and we had voltage bleeding from one leg to another. It doesn't take much when you have a small pinhole in the insulation on a wire for moisture to get in there and start to eat away the wire, especially if it's straight copper and not tin coated copper. So we cut the bad spot out. He hooked it back up to the control box. We verified it. It still was overamping, so something is clearly wrong with the pump or the motor, most likely the motor hooked up to the end of the pump. So we're going to pull all this pipe and everything out of the ground, pull the pump, everything out, which he's going to start doing here in a minute. And man, it's quite the process. It was pretty cool to watch. So right here he's lifting it up. I don't know why he put electrical tape on it. Oh, he was putting that electrical tape on so the base plate wouldn't fall down. That's what it was. So he's going to start stripping the wire off that pipe here in just a second. And we're going to pull all that out of the ground. And we're about to, I'll show you a time lapse of it. It's kind of repetitive, but it's coming. And then here in just a second, I'll show you a close-up of this. So if you'll notice right here, he's got one 20-foot section up in the air, and he's gonna bust that joint loose so he can grab another section. But watch the rust out of this water come out of this thing. It is just, man, the water was really nice and clear when I was running it. I think this is just from moving the pipe. But look at that rusty water. That's crazy. So we're gonna elect to go for PVC pipe back down in the ground. He said that'll keep everything much cleaner when we put the new pump and motor in. So yeah, let's jump into a little time lapse here, and I'll kind of show you what it looks like from afar, and then we'll do a bit of a time lapse after that. So. Morning, everybody. Thought I'd show you guys what all we got going on here before we put it all back together. So that hole is 365 feet deep, roughly. We pulled all this pipe out of the ground yesterday. All this galvanized pipe is what the motor's hooked up to down at the very bottom. Well, the motor and the pump. You can see these two joints, so you got roughly 20, 40, 63 feet right here that looked like it was in the water, down there in the water table. This other pipe was pretty fresh, maybe a bit of seepage, but here's the pump and the motor itself. Pump's on top right here, this guy, and then the motor's on the bottom. And that is what brings all the water up to the surface for us. So yeah, we're gonna go back in. Well, I'll explain all that here in a minute. This is all the pipe. My goodness, this is like a 4-day drama. Woo. Good morning. A little chilly this morning. I think it's 58 degrees right now. Hadn't seen these temperatures in a while. Working down in the Caribbean, it's always, I'm chasing summer. Everywhere I go, it's summer. Well, day 4 of the well drama. I showed you the pipe, showed you the motor. A couple cool things to note. We decided to upgrade from a 1.5 horsepower pump and motor up to a 2 horsepower. That's capable. This one flows roughly 10 to 11 gallons per minute at around 50 psi because of our pressure tank. The new one, the well guy was saying that it's capable of about 16 to 18 gallons per minute at 60 pounds of pressure, which is really cool. That's going to help us, I think, dramatically when we have the shop and a proper size house here. So if we got all the family in town or got guests in or whatever, or maybe I'm just doing a lot where, you know, you're taking a shower, the washing machine's going. Well, I probably won't have a dishwasher, but maybe, you know, and the tank's needing to fill up or something, the stock tank, you know, who knows, but it'll be better, especially when we have larger groups down here, multiple people taking showers at one time. The pressure won't fall off. And what's interesting, I asked him about the electrical, and he said this 1.5 horse pump draws roughly about 10 amps running load amps, and the 2 horsepower is like, it's 11.5, so it's like a half amp difference. So I was like, well, that's a no-brainer. It's costly, it's quite expensive to do this, but I think this pump's been in the ground since 1984. I was 2 years old. It's been in there a long time. All this pipe's been down in the ground since 1984, so it lasted quite a long time, and I hope that we get that kind of usage out of this new one. But we're going to replace all this galvanized pipe also with PVC pipe. He's saying that the water will stay cleaner for longer. Stuff doesn't collect, you know, the pipe doesn't start rotting out. Those last, say, 4 joints. This pump was at 326 feet. The well's drilled supposedly to 365, but the last 3 joints, which is 20, 21, 42, 63, 20, 40, 60, yeah, about 60 to 80 feet roughly was in the water. So, and it's pretty rough. But we'll reuse this pipe for some other stuff. I've got some plans for it already. When I run a water line from the house to the shop, it's about probably 80 feet over there, maybe roughly. I'll probably just run a piece of 3/4 inch PEX, and this stuff would be great to run it in. We'll trench it about probably 2 feet, maybe 3 feet deep, and then we'll lay this pipe down in there and run our PEX through it. It's so rocky out here and the ground moves around a lot. I think that'd be a real good idea to protect that PEX over time. So yeah, this is what we got going on. The guys should be here within an hour. They say we'll have it up and running by lunchtime, which would be great. I had water in 4 days. However, this little tank contraption, let me show you all this. This is pretty good little setup I got going on over here. So this water tank I picked up years ago, and I use it when I'm burning brush. So what I've done is how I installed this all is similar to boats, and well, it's identical to boats really. So got a tank, got a hose that goes down in here. Here's your outlet. I just put a hose bib on the back of the flatbed here, and then underneath here we got just a 12-volt high pressure pump. Same thing you'd find on a washdown pump on boats. So that I mainly put it in when we were running, when I was burning brush, and that seemed to work pretty good, just as a backup but what I did is I just ran a water hose, that hose all the way over to the house down there, and hooked it up to one of the sinks inside. We got 2 sinks, so hooked it up to one of the sinks, and yeah, it worked out pretty good. But that's it. That's the whole setup.